Hey guys, Lost Cuban here. We're making Ropa Vieja today, and I'm gonna start by preheating the oven, or not the oven. Fuck. Hey guys, Lost Cuban here today. We're gonna be doing Ropa Vieja, a Cuban style dish here with the Lost Cuban. We're starting by preheating the range, high heat for the steaks. We're using flank steak today. One of them was cured overnight in a salt brine for better browning. Give us some more flavor. The other one was just fresh, so we'll see which one. We're going to be using 2 whole onions. One of them is going to be white, and the other one is going to be red. Alright. Now, Ropa Vieja is a shredded beef dish. It's going to be braised in a beef broth for probably 4 to 6 hours once we get everything nice and browned. We're going to be using 2 cloves of garlic. Alright. Nice and browned on that side. Alright. It's also going to have 3 bell peppers, 1 of each color, whatever colors you can find at the time. We're using orange, green, and yellow. This one has a little baby inside of it. This is all going to be used for stock later. Different stocks that I like to make. And we're going to be using flank steak today for the long fibers that it has. It makes this dish look a lot prettier than if you just use chuck or sirloin or anything like that. Alright. Turn the heat down low on it. And then, because we don't have to be professional, we're not doing anything crazy today. All right, all the veg is chopped up. We're good on how the meat looks. We're gonna take the meat out real quick. Yeah, that looks pretty. Yeah. Nice and crispy, as you can see. Give it a nice little font down there. We're gonna deglaze. Get all those little crispy bits off. And here we go. Turn the heat up. Shh. All right. This is going to be used after everything, so that's our toppings. And our roasted tomatoes are going to go with the rest of the roasted tomatoes that we have. Just gonna give this a nice little mortar crush. Just make it into a little pasty bit. Alright. And then add it to the rest of our Alright, that's looking good. Now that we have things nice and deglazed, our secret umami boost is always going to be Worcestershire sauce. It's not typical Cuban, pero así es como lo hagamos. If you're wondering what gives me the right to make ropa vieja like this, because I'm the Pinar del Rio in Cuba. And we need some tomato paste. We're gonna get it nice and hot before we pour in all the juices. Toast up the tomato flavor. Chili powder, oregano, crushed leaves, salt and black pepper. Toast them up a little bit. Our beef broth, beef stock, however you would like to call it. Get this nice and so I've been making this dish for a good 10 years at the restaurant, and it's probably one of the most popular Cuban dishes. Can't go wrong with it. This is going to be for topping. I'm gonna get that hot. Get some more water. Thin it out a little bit. Now typically you can use two methods. You can make it a more of a watery based stew, or more of a thicker sort of chili. And I prefer mine more of the water runny kind of variety of Ropa Vieja. Add some smoked paprika. Add our roasted tomatoes. The most useful thing in the kitchen is always going to be a quart container. Use them for almost everything. Dog fruit, cut fruits, cheese, salsa, pickles, name it. Alright, I'm going to add our steaks back. Growing up, I'd always use chuck, just because flank steak wasn't normally a thing. Flank steak is more expensive, but it does come out to be a higher end product. You'll like it a lot more. All right. Well, it's looking a little bit too watery right now, but we're gonna give it a few hours and it'll be right there. All right, well, I will see you guys in a couple of hours. All right, back with a few hours later. We have the steak nice and tender. Should be able to pull apart very quickly. Got the rice cooking in the little rice pot. A little bit of saffron in there. Taking the veggies out. Putting this on blast. And we are throwing these in so that they'll be fork tender. That's going. All right. Now, the most tedious part about doing Ropa Vieja is always going to be shredding the beef. And the good thing about flank steak is it's very easy to shred. If you're using chuck, sirloin, any of the more braising sorts of beef, short ribs, you're not going to get these long strands most of the time, and B, it's going to be much more difficult, and you're going to have to cook for a lot longer. This is going to be the best, even though well, now flank steak used to be $5-6 a pound. Now it's about $15 a pound, but it is the definite cut to get for Ropa Vieja. You'll definitely see an increase in quality, a decrease in time, and it'll definitely piss off your abuelita to see you using such an easy cut of meat. And expensive. This would probably take 2-3 times as long as if we used a chuck roast in terms of shredding it and making sure that it's tender enough The good thing with flank steak is it becomes tender a lot quicker. And we can make sure that this works out for us. And the reason Ropa Vieja is called Ropa Vieja is because shredded clothes, old clothes, it just looks like a dilapidated dish, but it's one of the most flavorful Cuban dishes. Something that'll make all your family happy if you make it. Whether you serve it with rice or pasta. Growing up, my family hated it when I would make it with pasta, but you know, the thing about cooking is you do it to your own liking. Lots of adjustments over the years have been made to how I like my Ropa Vieja. And lots of getting yelled at by my mom for putting pepper, putting Worcestershire sauce, all that stuff. It's not traditional, but it makes it taste good. As long as you got the concept right, then the rest of the dish comes quite easily. And you see these long strains right here? This is what we're looking for. That's what we want to see in Ropa Vieja. Long, thin strains. It's a nice and tender steak. Some people like it real thinly processed, like my grandfather. Other people like it more chunked up and stewy. I've not come across many of those people, but sometimes if you go to a more Americanized Cuban restaurant, that's how it'll be served, because it'll be more like a chili. Now, when we do this at the restaurant, we just normally do this in a catering tray, the half pans. It's a lot easier just to process it instead of on a home cooking board. Get this almost done. It's not too difficult. It's just tedious. Some people use meat rakes. 2 forks is what you really need to get it to the consistency that I like it. Also, why would you have the meat rakes in your house? It's not really. Alright. Now that everything is nice and boiling, get this going. Alright. See how the consistency is now much more thickened up than when we started this project. Such a pretty dish. It's my favorite Cuban dish. It's one of my favorite dishes of all time. Ropa Vieja. Alright. Alright. Yeah. The meat is good. This is all good. This is what was missing earlier. That's why the cutting board was just moving all around. Always use a paper towel. Soaked in water, and you'll never have a loose cutting board. All right. Wasn't too bad of a first dish to cook for everybody. We're doing well. It's a perfect New Year's dish, which is what we're cooking it for. It may not seem very luxurious, but when you're in Cuba and you have this as a resident, this is quite a luxurious dish, seeing as you normally don't have any sort of meat products. This is definitely something you would bring the new year in with. All right, well, everything is now cooked and cleaned up. The next is just let this run for about 30 minutes on that high heat. Get it a little thicker. And get some rice. Put the basil on top, or not basil, oregano. We should be good. Well, that's good. See you guys in about 30 minutes. And there you have it. Now well, I don't know what this does, but my mom and grandma always used it. So I figured I'd always keep the recipe alive. Saffron rice. Let's get the paddle out. Looks nice and tasty. $4:40 in the morning, so I'm not gonna eat too much right now. Now we're gonna go over here, get a nice little dollop of Ropa Vieja. Some sauce. Best part about the Ropa Vieja is the sauce. A little bit of oregano. Some black pepper. And that is how you make Cuban style Ropa Vieja. With a lot of love, a lot of care. It's very satisfying. Very hot, very good, worth it. With that said, see you later, aceres.